A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for sticking to Y254 TV. You are watching the Power Talk Show, and I am your host, Cheryl Blessing. Now, we have been having a lot of wonderful conversations this year on this show. Now, Sasa Leo, given that it's 13th February, the day right before Valentine's, which is known as the low-key International Day of Love, I want us to get into a topic that's very closely related to love. I want us to understand what is love, and I want us to get into healthy versus unhealthy love, comparing the two and figuring out what are some characteristics of healthy love and what are some things that you should look out for something that is unhealthy, because we are celebrating love. February is the month of love, and we just want to decipher what is love. That is the conversation we're having this evening on our platform. I'm joined here by the amazing Tesoti, who is an actress and a content creator. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
It's such a pleasure to have you, and you look so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, you said that word like, I don't know, let me say, count it 8 times.
Par. And you know, 8 is also, it's about abundance. It's also like infinity. Because I really think about numerology, and even every single thing is very, very intentional. So I'm here with Tesoti, and it's such a pleasure to have you on here.
Pleasure.
I'm also going to be joined by a counseling psychologist who is not a first-time guest here, Anthony Njenga. He'll be joining us as we continue with our conversation. But I want us to get into this with you as well. So go on our platforms at Y254 and let me know why you think what love is, and what is genuine love. How do you know if what you're experiencing is genuine? How do you know if the love that you're currently experiencing is truly genuine? And I want us to get into this, not just in regards to romantic relationships. Let us cut across from your friendships, from your parents, from your siblings, from your colleagues. How can you tell if the love you're experiencing is genuine? So obviously we're going to be focusing heavily on the romantic kind of love, because tomorrow is all about, mostly about romantic love. Let me not say all about it, but there are various forms of love. So I want us to get into this, and before we get the professional psychological point of view, I want to get it from you, Tesoti, because we all have different expressions of what love is. We all have different understandings of what love is. So what is your personal understanding of what is love?
I feel like if you are if you're genuinely in love, it doesn't require a lot of things, because there are some people who struggle with love, and there are people who don't know much about love. So for me, I feel like genuine love is the one you don't have to compromise yourself for it, but you have to compromise everything you have, and they also have to compromise. So it's not something that has to go like halfway, or mtu ameenda juu and then mnapatana hapo chini. So for me, it's genuine love. It's all about compromising on what you can and what you can't do. Yeah.
So it's, to some extent, it's about trying to fit your partner, your romantic partner, into your life, and trying to fit them in to some extent, either by altering or accommodating them in one way or another.
People say that, and then I just saw something on Twitter where someone was saying people compromise love in different ways, you know. There are people who give love when, I don't know, people just compromise love in different ways. There are some people, when you just show them small attention, they are willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And then there are people who confuse love with lust. And especially our generation right now. So people usually feel like, okay, maybe if I give my body to this person, he will love me. So you confuse love with lust.
Yeah.
And most people don't know this, but I don't think lust usually equates to love or genuine love.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of time.
And I want us, I'll get into that, because later on I want us to define the difference between love, lust, and even infatuation, because there's a mix-up of what one thing is and what the other is. And sometimes people will take one thing for the other. And it's so fascinating that you said there are people who will even experience a small gesture. Someone opens the door for you. Someone is just kind to you, you know, and all of a sudden you feel like, yeah, they love me. You start fantasizing about your whole life together with your family and kids and dogs. And it's just one gesture. It's not an accumulation of multiple things, because I think with love there has to be intention and there has to be multiple things that come into play together for you to say there is love present in this matter. But that is I'd say the way we interpret love or the way we accept love is also rooted in the experiences we had growing up. So I'll get deeper into that when we have the professional here with us, because then he can help us understand the psychology behind that. But how much do you think the childhood and the upbringing informs love for an individual? How much do you think it plays into what we interpret as love?
I think a child, because you said a child, yeah?
Yeah.
A child adapts to the environment of love, you understand?
Yeah.
So if in your house you grew up with love, you grew up seeing your parents being in love, you grew up seeing your neighbors being in love, you know what love is, then probably maybe when you grow up, you'll grow up to love other people or to love someone without expecting something. Hi.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Anthony just joined us on set, and Anthony Njenga, you're not a guest for the first time here, but it's the first time we're having you this year. So it's such a pleasure. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. Pole nimechelewa, kuna ka traffic kidogo.
Jam ya Nairobi, unajua ishangi.
But I'm glad.
Yeah. So I you'll probably add to what we're talking about. We've just started the conversation and we're getting into what love is. And Tess is telling us about the experiences that we have. So yes, please go on.
So when you said about like a child when they grow up, it just depends with how their parents or how their siblings treat people around them. If a kid has to grow in an environment where the father loves the mother, probably this child doesn't have a problem with loving another girl romantically. And the kid grows up to see what the dad does to the mom. And not only in the household, also in the community or also in the environment. Peer internet comes hand to hand. You'd see some content where people are glorifying toxic love, and you'd see some content where they are glorifying love for what it is. And now it's up to a person, or it's up to someone to decide if they have to treat love the way they want to, you understand?
Yeah.
Because like recently when there was this case of two Baba and the wife, you understand?
Yeah.
People say that this man got this woman pregnant while she was young, and this person people just believe that when you get love from a young person, it's more genuine. They are not explored. They have not explored anything. So it's not even about love is. Right now, most people usually take love as business, you understand?
Yeah.
So even when we go back to the child growing up in love, it usually determines. You might find someone who grew up in a loving family. The dad does not have other mothers from somewhere. The dad does not have baby mama drama. But then you see this child, he ends up being the worst person in love.
Yeah. I like that you said that, because I agree. And with the matter that you've brought up, there's also an aspect of grooming that goes into that.
Yeah.
And I want us to dive into that a bit
Definitely.
later as we're progressing. But what we are getting into right now is about the childhood experiences that inform what your idea of love is, what our idea or our interpretation of love is as adults. So Anthony, from your expert point of view, kindly tell us why, especially maybe you can align that with attachment styles that come up when we are children, because I think attachment comes first and then we have love, because when you're attached to someone, when you're just constantly with someone, then it's very easy for you to fall in love with someone. So I want us to get into that. What's the importance of the childhood experience, and how does that inform the attachment styles that can lead to love?
Okay, that's a good point. But you know, psychologically speaking, actually it does not start from the attachment style. There's something in psychology called psychosocial stages of child development. So those who maybe have a background in counseling, there's something called psychosocial stages of child development, and the first stage is called trust versus mistrust. I believe for love to be nurtured, there must be a trusting environment.
Yeah.
Actually, for you to love someone, there must be a trusting environment. Actually, trust is the general and the biggest attribute of love. So trust versus mistrust is between 0 to 1 years under the psychosocial stages of child development. Now, what I mean when I talk about trust versus mistrust, which is between 0 to 1 years, where trust is built mtoto akiwa mdogo. For example, if a child cries and most of the time mtoto akilia, wazazi useme wacha alie ndio lungs zifunguke. You know, that is when the child develops trust. A child needs, for example, akilia, you know, it's either between your ages 0 to 1 years, it's either ako njaa ama ako sleepy. So what you need to do as a mother, you need to identify that. Na ujue kama ako njaa, you breastfeed this child. Na isakuwa hata sio njaa, maybe the diaper inamsumbua, imemchoma. So some of those things are what form the basis of what love is. Because the moment the trust is there, the moment there is trust, leave alone even the attachment styles. Those attachment styles come later on. The basic root of love starts from the below age of 0 to 1 years, where trust versus mistrust is built. Now, the opposite of you not taking care of the child, when maybe analia na maybe anataka kunyonya, anataka kuchangewa diapers, and you're not being there as a mom, as a parent, you're not taking care of not only the mom but also the dad. You know, saa zingine in this generation ni kama tumeachia responsibility wa mama, like the mothers, that is mama ndio mtoto akilia, yeye ndio kila kitu. As a man, also be there for your partner or for your wife or your woman, that hata mtoto akilia usiku isikuwe tu ni mama tu anaamka kumbeba. You know, that is the basis of where love starts from. Leave alone the attachment styles which come later on when a child gets to grow up and, you know, time goes by. But the root cause is the trust. When trust is built, attachment styles form, and mnakuwa wewe mwenyewe kama like an individual, you're able to, when you're able to trust, you're able actually to attach with someone that is actually trustworthy, because trust is the basis foundation of love.
Yes.
I
like that, because I think it's the same for adult relationships as well. Trust is very important for so many people. Trust and honesty, and then all these other things add to that, the foundation. So, Tess, would you say trust being one of the things that you're looking out for, once it's broken, do you think love can still exist in that situation, or has love, it's now done? Because once trust is broken, is there love there, or is love non-existent?
I feel like it also depends. You can love someone and still not trust them. Like some people say loving you, it's like a pleasure, you know. I'm loving because love is a gift, you understand? But trusting you all over again and again and again, it's something that I can't do. And if I can't trust you, obviously I'll detach my love from you, but it will take time. That's why you find most, like, a lot of married women, or you'll find like a lot of women in relationships, they get cheated on over and over and over again, but they still stay. And then when you ask them, why do you stay yet you don't trust this person? They're like, I'm just waiting to fall out of love. So I don't, like, you just stay there. Do you love them? You're waiting for the love to just slow away and go away, while you're still not trusting this person. So it usually gets complicated.
It's usually very dependent on the circumstances.
Definitely.
I remember there was a clip that's been going around social media this week of a Mexican TV show. I think it's been on X, about, what's his name?
Oh, Montoya,
or someone, the guy.
Yeah, he was crashing out.
Because they're in a TV show about Temptation Island. I think it's couples. They've been put on an island where they're supposed to actually put themselves in situations where they can easily get tempted. Just to, I think it's a test of their trust or something. I'm not very familiar with the entire show, but that clip in particular caught my attention, because the girlfriend was actively cheating, and apparently it's because he cheated first or something happened before.
Yeah.
So I think that was circulating early in the week, and then later in the week I found out that they're still together.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would you still be together if this person broke your trust on live TV? There's evidence literally everywhere on social media. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because you can lose trust but still have love. So it's just dependent on the situation. So then, Anthony, as we're getting into, we're trying to really understand what healthy love is. Because there's situations where someone perhaps can break your trust without intending to do that. Sometimes with mothers, the situation that we're talking about with mothers and kids, sometimes mothers want the kids to be independent to some extent. I've come across those concepts where the kid is encouraged to sleep while crying so that they can put themselves to sleep instead of being carried around or something. So I don't know, the different types of parenting styles. So I've come across couples who say, no, wacha tualie atalala. And then there are mothers who, the minute the kid towards any sound, they're present. And it doesn't mean one mother loves the other kid less or anything, but there might be an absence of trust. And then I'm imagining this kid who the mom went through, you know, there's the expression of tough love. The mother applied tough love, and then the mother was probably she had to work multiple jobs, provide, probably a situation where it's a single mom. And this kid has had to be very independent because they've had to be alone most of the times because of the circumstances. So trust may not exist there, where the kid may not exactly rely on the mom to be there every time, but love exists. So how then can we, because those are some things that I think they traumatize children and they stay with us and they can manifest themselves when you're older. How does the situations like that, or even the counter where the mother is present, even the father, they're absolutely present 1,000%. How can these situations influence how we experience love as adults, or how we give love as adults?
Now, there's something you've said, and I beg to differ. I beg to really differ. The moment you're saying, and there's something she also said, you know, there's a very big difference between love and infatuation. There is love, there's infatuation, and there's lust. Maybe someone could be, maybe the man has cheated on this lady several times, but this lady is choosing to stay. You wouldn't say that is love. Maybe she's staying because she's also getting something out of that. Because love, the moment trust is broken, because for me, I believe the pillar of love is trust. All day, anytime. The moment trust is broken, whether both parents are present, whether they are not, the moment the trust was not built from the foundation growing up, whether they get a person, you know, most people think the moment you're in love with someone and the moment someone does something to you or breaks your trust and you're still in the relationship, you still love that person. No. Now, there's another thing called feelings. The moment you have feelings for someone doesn't mean you love them. You know that? You cannot equate feelings to love, can you? No, can you equate feelings to love? For example, the moment I tell you I feel you, why do people tell, ushaipata watu the first day, amecommit na ameanza kuongelesha anakwambia I love you. Is it really making sense?
No.
Maybe they just have feelings.
There's something called love at first sight.
Nah.
Maybe I'm just the Lulu.
Nah.
So I feel like
kuna
kuanga na hizo isolated situations where they're very unique, where for real you might experience that, but also I think it's feelings that develop into love.
No, let me ask. Let me just say this. A lot of women have come out and said, you know what? Me, I met my husband this week, and then the second week of meeting again, this person decided to propose, and they have lasted for like maybe 5 years, 20 years. Do you believe there's such a thing?
That is what you hear. That is what they're not telling you.
Yeah, like
exactly. This is what you're listening to. You know. That is social media.
For you,
for you, story ya kusanitize, story.
For you, love and trust. How long, like,
let me tell
does
you
it supposed to take? Kwa sababu unasema nasikia kwanza you can't feel anyone.
There's no duration for trust. You see, there's no duration that it takes to trust. It depends with what you do for me to trust you. As much as maybe hata kama growing up my trust was broken, I did not get that love from my parents and the environment was too bad. One thing I believe is that the moment you're in love with someone and the trust is not there, whether it is love at first sight, and the duration does not matter. I can meet you today and I tell you I love you, but really that is not love. Because one, why do you love me? You know, the question is, when you ask someone, you know, let me just give you a practical example. Ukipatana na Chalina akwambia I love you on day 2, day 3. Ask him why. They'll tell you very, very weird things. I love how you look. Is it really love?
I asked someone why he loved me
And what did he tell you?
and why he kept coming back, despite me like going against him and cheating most of the time.
Okay.
I was like, I love you because you're crazy.
Is it that they love you, or is it that they're lustful?
Or maybe it's a childhood trauma.
Exactly.
Like that's what they.
Or you guys
You know
connect
what?
by trauma? No, you see, if there is no trust.
And you know, I have this perspective, yeah? But you know, and a lot of people have this perspective that men love crazy women. And then
You know,
I asked this guy, why do you love me? Why do you usually come back despite me, you know,
Yeah.
doing things to you, despite me kukupea maneno kubwa kubwa? I was like, I love you because you're crazy. And then now you're telling me it's because it's lustful.
now,
And this guy usually come through for me anytime.
yeah, because there's something he wants in exchange, right?
Damn.
So it's almost it's like there's something.
It's a transaction.
It's transactional love.
That's
And you
what
know, I like that you're saying that, because based on that experience, I've also come across that theory of
Yeah,
men
men
love
love
these types of
crazy
people.
women.
Even with the B word, men love women who have attitude, they don't care. But it goes back to trauma. Because I'm imagining perhaps these guys experienced some form of trauma when they were young. Maybe the mothers weren't as, you know, loving, weren't as gentle. Maybe walikuwa mezoea ile kupambana. Like, I have to struggle to get your attention. And the people who've experienced healthy love, because it also flips on the other side with the women. We are told when a man is ignoring you, that's when he loves you. When he doesn't want to talk to you, it's because he loves you too much. You know, there's those things over. When you're younger, you're told, yeah, if he's being mean to you, it's because he loves you so much, he can't even understand why he loves you, so he's being mean. And I watched a movie about that, about something similar, of he's just not that into you. And I think it debunked a lot of things of what we think love is and how we interpret the expression of love for different people and what love actually is. So I want us to get into, let's take a very short break, and then when we come back, let's definitely get into explaining what love, lust, and infatuation is, and then understanding what are some of these things that we need to look out for, the red and the green flags, as well as some other factors that influence the expression of love. So let's take a very short break. But before we do that, go on our platforms at Y254. I want to find out from you what you think true, genuine love is. How do you know love is truly genuine? How can you tell what you're experiencing is love and it's genuine love? So go on our platforms at Y254 right now. And we are also streaming on X. You can also get the links there in case you're not watching us from home, or in case you have some friends who want to tune in, but they're not able to do so because they're not at home. So let's take a very short break, and then we're coming back with so much more in regards to this conversation.